Home inspections. We're diving into a topic today that every home buyer should think and know about. Are they worth it? How much do they cost? What do they cover? Do you need them for new construction? And are there times that you should waive a home inspection? I'm Jamie Mushaw with Jamie Mushaw Real Estate. And if you're new to our channel, we talk about all things real estate in Southwest Washington, including Vancouver, Camas, Washougal, Battleground, and other surrounding areas, as well as the Portland metro area. Let's start with the basics. What's a home inspection? A home inspection is essentially a contingency within your purchase and sale agreement that allows you to fully inspect the home by a professional inspector, top to bottom, inside and out, to try and uncover anything that you may not know is there when you did your initial walkthrough of the home and prior to you making your offer on the property. So what does a home inspection cover? A home inspection will essentially cover an inspector going up onto the roof and making sure that there's no leaks, or checking out to see what the actual age is of the roof and any recommendations that may need to be done to make sure that your roof does not leak in the future. Other things that are inspected are the attic. The attic space is inspected to make sure that there are no leaks from the roof, or if there has been, have they been corrected? Typically, they're also looking for any mold or condensation within that attic space as well. And sometimes they will check out to make sure that there's no rodent activity up in the attic, which sometimes you'll find, which can be corrected pretty easily. They'll also evaluate the crawl space, make sure that there's no standing water anywhere in the crawl space. Make sure that there's vapor barrier. Make sure that there are no leaks happening if there is a sink or tub on that main floor of the house, if in fact the home does have a crawl space. Additionally, they'll test the electrical systems, making sure that all the electrical systems are working properly, making sure that there are outlets that are GFCI protected within a certain distance of any access to water, such as faucets. They will also check all of your plumbing throughout the house, make sure that no fixtures are leaking, that everything works properly, checking the temperature of the water, making sure that there are no leaks happening in the crawl space, which we already talked about. Additionally, they will run and test your furnace, your HVAC system, heat pump, air conditioning, whatever that home may have. If they don't have that, typically there's wall heaters that they'll test, or some type of heating source, making sure that everything works the way that it should, so you have proper heating and cooling within the house. Typically what will happen is if there's any issues with any of those items that I just talked about, they'll recommend a professional contractor, whether it be a licensed roofer, a licensed electrician, a licensed plumber, somebody that specializes in that field, to make sure that if any issues come up with any of those things, that you have a particular contractor check it out to make sure that in fact that they do need to be corrected. And if they do, then we go in and we negotiate with the seller how that should be fixed. Beyond this, there are other types of inspections that you can add on when you do a home inspection. One of which is a sewer scope. You want to make sure that the line from the house to where the sewer dumps out, that there's no issues, no bellies, cracks, root intrusions. You want to make sure that that sewer line is flowing properly. Additionally, there are things like septic inspections. If your home is on a septic, you want to have that septic inspected by a septic company to make sure that it's working properly, and to find out if it needs to be emptied or not, because a septic system does need to be emptied a certain amount of times, depending on usage and however many years or months that have passed. If you're on a property that has a well, you're going to want to have that well tested for gallons per minute, the quality of the water, and anything that goes along with the operation of that well. Those are additional inspections that you may want to have. Lastly, one of the other main inspections that we do is a radon test. A radon test essentially tests the levels of radon within a home. Radon is one of the leading sources of cancer, and you want to make sure that those levels are at an acceptable level, so that way when you move into the home, you don't have any risk of having cancer scares. One of the main questions I always get asked about home inspections is, should I have a new construction home inspected? And my answer is going to be always yes. Just because it's a new home does not mean that there could be issues that come up, especially when you're looking at plumbing and electrical, the sewer line. Anything could go wrong during the installation process of systems throughout the house. So you just want to make sure that your new construction home doesn't have any issues in it when you're moving into it. A lot of times I will also recommend that if my clients are buying new construction and they're building from ground up, that they have the home inspected, what's called pre-drywall. And what that means is that an inspector is coming in and looking at all of the wiring, all of the plumbing, everything that you can't see behind the drywall before the drywall is put up, to make sure everything is to code and properly installed. So on new construction properties, it's imperative that you have a home inspection done, because just like a pre-owned home, there could be issues that come up and you want to make sure that that builder corrects them. Additionally, if you have issues with those items that come up on the home inspection down the line, you have proof that you had the home inspected and those issues came up and you were asking them to have corrected. So that way, when warranty times come around, that you can have those things corrected by the builder underneath the warranty because of your home inspection. One of the other things that I get asked about home inspections is there ever a time that you should consider waiving your home inspection? And there's only really 2 times that you should consider waiving a home inspection. The first one is if you know that you're getting an extremely good deal on the property and you're going to accept it as is, because you know whatever repairs need to be done to the property, the future value or equity that you're going to build into it is going to outweigh those repairs that need to be done. So if you're getting a really good deal where you know that you'll just be able to take on those repairs and those repairs are going to be less than whatever the equity gain that you're going to get, that would be one time where you would waive your home inspection. The second time that you would waive a home inspection is if you were in a really hot market. You know, in around the 2020, 2021 years, there were going to be multiple offers on properties. You're talking anywhere from 5, 10, 15 offers, and you really had to make your offer competitive to get considered. And one of those ways was waiving your home inspection. Is it something that I recommended? No, but you would have to feel really confident about the house in order to purchase it and waive that home inspection. Because one of the things that you have to think about is when you're in a multiple offer situation, you're probably already paying a premium for that property. So if you're paying a premium and you don't have a home inspection done and you move into the home and then you find a major item that needs to be fixed, that's just an added cost on top of whatever price you're paying for that property. But it's risk reward, especially when you're in a market that is very competitive. So those are really the only 2 times that I would consider waiving a home inspection. On the first one, if you knew that you were going to get significant equity, that's a time that I would definitely waive it. If you're in a competitive market, you really have to look at that home closely when you're viewing it to make sure that you're not missing any major repairs that need to be done. The real power of the home inspection is after it's completed and we've had an opportunity to review it. One of the things that I really coach my clients on is that the inspector's job is to notate every single thing that they find within that home inspection. And so that can be scary sometimes because the home inspection report that you get back has a lot of information in it. And if you're a first-time home buyer, that could be, like I said, scary for you to review and see. but you just need to know that it's okay, because most times it's just minor items that they're notating for your general knowledge, and it's my job as your agent to go through there and really kind of confirm what items need to be repaired and review everything with you to figure out what smaller items you can take on. So we're not kind of nitpicking the seller, but really focusing on major safety and hazardous issues that are within the home. So once we have that report and we determine what things need to be corrected, what we will do is either one, ask the seller for a credit for those items that need to be repaired, and we would typically do that after we've had a contractor go in and give us an idea of what it's going to cost to fix those items. And the reason that we typically want to ask for a credit is because that's real money in your pocket. And typically the way that we get that done is that we ask the seller to pay for closing costs or having a rate buy down done. And that leaves more money in your pocket at the time of closing. And then you can use that money for whatever contractor that you want to have to correct the item within the home, and that way you can oversee the project and make sure it's done to the standards that you want to have done. One of the other options is that we can ask the seller to correct those items, and when we're asking them to correct them, one of the key things that we want to have done is making sure that it's a licensed contractor in that field for that specific item that needs to be corrected. Not only that, we want to ask for a receipt upon completion, and we want to have pictures done if pictures are necessary for whatever item that they're having repaired within the home. One of the third things that we can do is we can ask for a price reduction. If it's a big enough repair that would result in a price reduction that's significant enough to have an impact on your monthly payment, that might be a route that we go as well. And lastly, if we cannot come to terms with the seller and they're not willing to give us a credit or a price reduction or fix any items in the home, because that contingency is within your purchase and sale agreement, it gives us the opportunity just to completely walk away from the home. And if that's the case, you will typically receive your earnest money back as long as we are still within all of the timelines that we've negotiated in the purchase and sale agreement. To sum it up, is a home inspection worth having? Absolutely. Does it cost you a lot of money as a buyer for an upfront cost? It does. But spending that $750 to $1,500 to have a home inspection done and to have the peace of mind to make sure that no major repairs need to be done to the property is something that you really want to consider. Because if you don't spend that amount of money, it could equate to a lot more than $1,500, and it's going to create headache and cause you more money down the road to have whatever repair comes up after you've purchased the home and moved into it. So as your agent, you really want to lean into me about the home inspections and ask any questions that you might have, not only me, but the inspector, because these are things that we deal with on a daily basis. And we want to make sure that the transaction is negotiated to the terms that you want to have. And again, that goes back to making sure that you're getting credits or price reductions or whatever it might involve within that home inspection, or you're just walking away. Unless it's underneath those two scenarios that we talked about, where you know that you're getting a really good deal or you're in a hot market and you're trying to secure a home. If you're in the process of buying a home or exploring the idea of purchasing a property and you have questions about home inspections, feel free to reach out and ask them to me. I'm happy to walk you through of any expectations of what can happen when you have a home inspection on a property. Every home is different, every scenario is different, and that's why your approach to how you purchase that home and have your home inspection done is going to be tailored to each one of those scenarios. If you like this video, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. We have other great videos coming up in the future. Also down in the comments below is a link to my free weekly newsletter. I would love it if you signed up for that. I'm Jamie Mushaw with Jamie Mushaw Real Estate, and we'll see you on the next video.